What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you another one, and what I do is recap, review, give you predictions, Easter eggs, and all of my theories for television shows. If that sounds like something you're into, then consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. Okay, let's get into it. Showtime's Your Honor follows the story of Judge Michael, who is forced to go down the road of lies and deceit when his son Adam kills the son of a gangster by mistake. The first season has Michael desperately trying to keep his son's crime a secret, but all of it unravels in the end when Adam ends up dead. Now, after all of his betrayal and scheming and plotting didn't work, we see in the second season that Michael has given up on life, even though there's a lot of things that still need to be dealt with. At the end of this first episode, we get a bunch of new characters that are gonna come into play and may be the motivation for Michael to get back in the game and eventually get his revenge on all of these crime families in New Orleans. I give you the spoiler warning as we get into it. The show starts off with a flashback that reveals what happened immediately after Adam's death. Michael confesses to everything to Nancy but lands in prison for a completely different reason. Here, he's tried to starve himself to death, but prison officials don't want him to die, so they run a tube up his nostril and force feed him. After this, we see federal lawyer Olivia show up to chat with Michael. When he shows complete disinterest in helping her, she gives him a good reason to change his mind, which I think he's going to take up in a little bit. Going back to that murder, Eugene is completely fucked up what happened to Adam, and then we see him dash away. Carlo and his men chase after the boy, but he succeeds in getting away. Now we see later he is caught up by Mo's people and they hide him from the Baxters while the two gangs try to negotiate this peace treaty. Mo is somewhat trying to keep the peace. He doesn't want Eugene's action to lead to a huge gang war and everybody wind up dead. But he has to watch for Gino and Carlo because they have something else on their mind. Now, meanwhile, Thea tries to communicate with Michael, but he completely ignores her. So what does he do? He indulges himself in a deadly game that has a higher chance of killing him outright. So let me explain to you right now what Olivia wants from Michael. All of Michael's wrongdoings go to waste the moment his son dies. Adam was his whole world, and now he is gone. Michael has no reason to live. He confesses everything, hoping to go to prison or better yet get killed by snitching on Jimmy, because when we look at it from his perspective, he lost everything. He lost his career. And now he lost his son. Why did he lose all that to protect his son? And in the end, what happens? His son gets killed anyway. So he gave all that up. Everything that we've seen in season 1 just seems to be for naught. So he's just like, F it. Why should I continue to go on? Everything I did, I lost my reputation. I lost my job. And for what? Why did I give all those things up? My son died anyway. So that's the point that he's at. That's where we see him right now. In comes Olivia. She sees the state that he's in. She knows what's going on in his head. And the most dangerous man in the world is a man who has nothing to live for. He's already given up on life. So he's willing to do anything, because what are you going to do to me? Kill me? I want to die anyway. So Olivia, knowing how close he worked with the mob boss in keeping his son out of jail, she wants to use him to put the Baxter family and their criminal enterprise out of business altogether once and for all. So when Nancy presents Michael's confession, wanting it to be used as evidence against him, Delmont advises keeping the recording a secret. Now, she is not against sending Michael to prison. She's playing chess, not checkers, and she knows that that would completely waste his potential as someone who can help stop the criminal activities in this city, because he's worked with these people firsthand. Now he's in jail. That would mean they would trust him even more. So how does she try to pull this off? Phase 1 was changing his charges. She made up some charge on the lines of tax evasion. And then phase 2 was to get that sealed, all those files, so nobody can go in there, check out those files, and figure out exactly what's going on. So Delmont goes to him, tries to have a normal conversation with Michael, tries to go to him, asking him for his help. But she soon realizes that this dude is just out of it. He's drowning in his own sorrows. He just feels too guilty about what happened to his son, so that he is completely worthless at this time. Until she pulls that ace right out of her sleeve. And she says that in Michael's confession, it also incriminates his best friend, Charlie, who is up for mayor in the next election. Now we gotta remember, when Michael was desperate and he needed somebody's help, he went to Charlie. And it was Charlie, even though he didn't even know truly what was going on, he helped Michael get rid of that car. Charlie, his boy who was there for him in his time of need. And Delmont has his confession on tape. And she says straight up, I'm going to use it against Charlie. Not only will this ruin Charlie's career, ensure he doesn't win the election, but there's a good chance Charlie can go to prison also. So what's he gonna do? Charlie was there for him when he needed him. Charlie's his boy. He does what he has to do, and that's when we see him get released from prison. Another mystery that's gonna have to be solved is, was Fia pregnant? Did she have Adam's child? Let's try to break it down. The character progression we get from Michael in this episode over and over again is that Adam was his only family and his only motivation to do anything. Without that, he just wants to die. He doesn't want anything to do with anyone. Even though we do see him at the end agree to help Delmont, it's because he's motivated by the loyalty to his friend. So we see what motivates him in his life. It's friends and family. And at the end of this episode, we seems like we might get some more motivation for Michael. So in season 1, we got a little West Side Story action, right? We got Fia Baxter and we got Adam. They met, they fell in love, and then everything started to fall apart around them. Now, after Adam passed away, Fia tried to reach out to Michael. She sent him letter after letter, but he was trying to keep his distance because of who she is. But by not opening these letters, he didn't realize that he has a grandson. Now, it's apparently, we have to believe, that Fia got pregnant, and she didn't find out until Adam was dead. And then she decided to keep the baby and include Michael in his life. Now, this means that this baby is Michael's only blood relative. And once he finds out, and he hasn't found out, but once he does find out, this could be the second motivation factor that he has to go out there and try to bring down the Baxter family once and for all. Because when it's all said and done, Michael is a judge and he believes in law and order, and he's not going to want his only grandson, the only thing he has to remind him of his son, this person to be raised by a bunch of criminals and maybe wind up in the criminal empire business himself later on. That's where we're at with this episode. When season 1 ended, I did not know where they were going to go with this show, but it's taken me on a loop, a great ride. I can't wait to go on this adventure with you. Not only will I be doing videos and breakdowns and theories every week, I'm also going to start doing live streams every Thursday night about this before the episode airs. So make sure you subscribe, you click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. Oh, and the live streams are calling, so you can call in and talk to me directly and let me know exactly what you're feeling. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.